This Philadelphia Union season has been nothing less of a milestone for this franchise, as they are going through one of the best starts in their history, which led to some of the big news that we saw this week. One obstacle this team is still facing is the lack of wins over in the West Coast against those quality Western Conference teams. And this week is no exception, as the Philadelphia Union are traveling to Salt Lake to face off against RSL. Rio Tinto Stadium, a stadium that they have never won in their franchise's history. I repeat, they have never beaten RSL at RSL. Tuperos y tuperas, stay put there, because we're going to preview the Union versus RSL, and that is all coming up next. Done! Y buenas tardes, and welcome to DOOP By The River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union with me, El Parcero Phil. And if this is your first time tuning in, or if you're returning back to DOOP By The River, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. And please, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button for those notifications to help me grow soccer here in Philadelphia. And that is right, guys. We are going to be previewing the RSL Union match, but first there is some news on the table that we must discuss first. So the first news line for the Union is probably my favorite of the three, is our coach, Jim Kirchin, got an extension this week, sending him through 2021. This year, he was on a one-year deal after last season's big season. Now, Jim Kirchin is our longest tenured coach. This season will be his 6th season overall, and if he completes the contract extension, he'll be the Union manager for 8 years. That longevity in sports in general is absolutely difficult to achieve. For a guy who's gotten a lot of heat and a lot of hate over the last 6 years, the man now is at an overall coaching record of 72, 39, and 75. His wins and losses are catching up to each other, which I believe he will have more wins and losses by the end of this season, and he's continuously improving and learning as a manager. We saw last season where we had the best Union season in our franchise history, and this year we have the best start in our franchise history as well. More importantly is Jim Kirchin's trust in the youth that we have right now. Our youth academy is flourishing and is one of the best in the MLS. That has in part to do with Jim Kirchin's vision. We've seen guys like Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, Brandon Aronson, Anthony Fontana, Matt Real, Michin Galina. These are guys that have been going through the youth academy over the past couple of years and have seen first team minutes. And that's crucial if you want to be a successful club in today's MLS. We have to continuously develop our young players, and hopefully we can finally sign one of these guys to a nice European contract. Now, leading into that news, we have to talk about the homegrown All-Star game, where the Union will have 2 representatives in that match, Brandon Aronson and Matt Freese. Brandon Aronson has been the story all season long for the Philadelphia Union. The 18-year-old Medford Messi got his first start against Atlanta United, and ever since then hasn't looked back. And he's hit a little bit of a wall lately, but it's been absolutely fun to see him grow. And Matt Freese, Matt has taken advantage of his opportunities with Andre Blake getting injured and going away for international time. And it's great to see us getting recognized with these 2 players to play on in the homegrown All-Star game. The last set of news has to do with Carlos Coronel, as he is returning back to RB Salzburg. His loan deal got cut a little bit too short, but RB is in need of a goalie, and Coronel is the only option that they could think of. Carlos Coronel, in those 4 starts that we saw him in, proved to us that we had a capable backup goalie who could start on most teams. He looked fantastic in those 4 matches. However, Matt Freese is our future, and he really needs those first team minutes more than Carlos Coronel did, because Carlos Coronel was not in our future plans. Wish nothing but the best for Carlos. He did great for us in that short time, like I mentioned, and I hope that he can actually get some playing time over in Salzburg. Now, with all that news out of the way, let's get to Saturday's action, because the Philadelphia Union are traveling to the West Coast to face off against RSL. Now, RSL, one of the more stable MLS franchises that we have, and since their inception in the MLS, have been a consistent team, consistently in the playoffs, developing great players like Kyle Beckerman, Nick Raimondo, and this RSL team is absolutely no different. Mike Pecky, I've mentioned plenty of times, I'm a huge Mike Pecky fan, and I love what he does for his team. Let's be real here, RSL, not the most talented team out there, but those guys work their asses off, and Mike Pecky knows how to put a game plan together. And those guys fight hard for Mike Pecky. Now let's talk about the formations and the starting 11 that I believe Jim Kirchner will take out to Salt Lake. Now starting in goal, no surprise, Andre Blake. He bounced right back last week after getting eliminated in Gold Cup with his Jamaica to play Sunday against Orlando City. I expect him in this match to bounce back with a strong performance as long as the back four do their job. And let's talk about that back four. Starting from left to right, I believe we will see the same four guys. Guy Wagner, Austin Trusty, Jack Elliott, and Ray Gaddis. Now, what I'm concerned about most with these back four is that RSL is a team that likes to bunker down and they like to control the pace of the game. But Mike Pecky is not afraid to unleash the high press on opposing defenses. And I expect that our back four to be able to contain themselves and not make those mental mistakes that we've seen over the past couple weeks. And I expect them to have a huge game here. In the midfield, starting from left to right again, I believe we'll see Brandon Aronson. At the 6th role, we'll see Harris Medunian. At the right shuttle midfielder, our captain Alejandro Bedoya. And at the tip of the diamond, Marco Fabian. Now the big news here is Jamiro Monteiro. After the injury 2 matches ago at Orlando City where Josh Kleshin had a questionable challenge on him, he missed last Sunday's postponed match against Orlando City at home and he's more looking like he's going to miss Saturday's match as well, which is fine. No need to rush Jamiro Monteiro, and that means that possibly more minutes for Anthony Fontana. And maybe Warren Crayval might be ready to start playing as he started, practicing on the sidelines with the Union. I really want to see how Brandon Aronson performs here. We talked about it constantly week in and week out, how he's been hitting this wall and teams have gotten way more physical with him. In comes RSL, one of the more physical midfields I have seen this season. This will be another great test for Brandon Aronson to accomplish. Now, Marco Fabian last week got a goal in his first start back in God knows how long, since a Toronto FC match. He was hot and cold last week. He did get the nice goal, but he had quiet moments. He was still shedding off a little bit of that rust. Now we'll see how he will adapt against this physical team traveling over to the West Coast. Last time he played over in the West Coast, he got injured against the LA Galaxy. Let's pray that doesn't happen again. Another player to look for is Elsinho. He missed both Orlando City matches with a nagging injury from the NYCFC match. He's questionable to play, but in all honesty, I think he will play. After watching RSL last week in San Jose, seeing a player like Christian Espinosa to absolutely devour that right side of the RSL defense, I can only imagine what we're going to see from Elsinho against this defense. If all fails in the first half, stick to the formula. We'll still get Elsinho in the second half with Wooten. Woo! RSL is not ready for this. And up top is where the debate has been all week long. Andrew Wooten, the new acquiree for the Philadelphia Union, is eligible to play this week. And the question is, will we see him and will he start? I believe we will see him, but he will not start. I believe we will still continue to see Kasper Shabilko and Fafa Pico to play up top. And I expect Andrew Wooten to come out in the second half when needed. I personally think Kasper and Fafa have been hot. We haven't been torturing the scoreboard up with goals these past couple weeks, but Fafa and Kasper have been scoring goals over the last 4 matches. So I don't see why it is we want to see Fafa and Kasper out so bad. They're doing their jobs. The other guys need to step it up. But yes, I am excited to see our new toy out there, and I'm excited to see what he can do. He's fresh off of his Bundesliga 2 season not too long ago, and he's gonna bounce right back in there. I'm gonna make the bold prediction that he's gonna get a goal in his first match. So here's the deal, guys. Us in the West Coast has not been pretty since our inception in 2010. And even this season thus far, we lost to LA Galaxy in ugly fashion, and we also drew to a bad Vancouver side this season. Doesn't help also that we've never won it at Rio Tinto Stadium. And also, RSL's a pretty damn good team at home. They're 6-2-0 at home. Now, I fully expect Mike Pecky to take advantage of a Union side who haven't been able to perform their best against teams who bunkered down. You've seen this all season long. We haven't looked our best against teams who bunkered down. Now last week, San Jose was able to spread out the pitch and attack from out wide, and they had good opportunities to get a goal but couldn't put one past them until injury time in the second half. This will be a great test for us. Can we go out to the West Coast and get that monkey off our back, winning against Western Conference teams away, as well as scoring goals against teams who just want to bunker down? I don't know if it's just a positive Delphine in me or I just see a different team than others, but I absolutely see us going to Real Salt Lake and getting a victory here. If it's not the attack that we have out there with Marco Fabian at 10 and Kasper Shabilko and Fafa Pico up top, then in the second half, I fully expect to see Quinn and Elsinho to get out there and finish this team off. In the end, I see our blue and gold getting 3 points and we will win 2-0. But guys, those are my thoughts on us heading over to Real Salt Lake to face off against them. In the comments below, let me know how you guys feel going into this match, and I also want to hear what you guys feel about all the big news that happened this week for the Union. Kirchen's extension, Carlos Coronel heading back to Salzburg, Aronson and Freeze getting selected for the homegrown All-Star game. And of course, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button for notifications to help me grow soccer here in Philadelphia. And until next time, my Luperos, DOOP on.
True hippie.